Judy Howell. We first moved here in 1977 in the summer of '77. My mother and all the children came at that time, but my father actually came before that. And the way that he would find a church is he would find the church that he felt had the best music program. So I moved here when I was 12, and one of the first things that I had to do was to go through the confirmation class because it was a younger age. Didn't know anybody, so that was a way to get to know some of the youth and to get a little more incorporated into the church.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run.
I spotted this gentleman who is about my age and hadn't met him yet, and there was one opportunity that we sat. He was in front of me and I was right behind him, so during the meet and greet when we would stand up and pass the peace, that was my first introduction to Derek, who's now my husband, and I had actually invited him to what we had was a singles lunch that day. And Derek came to that with me, and then we had our first date in December of 1988, and we were married in 1990 in the church by Jack Noble. The very first time that we decided to go on the Mexico mission trip, the Spirit moved me. I said yes. I didn't know what I was getting into. I remember being very nervous and scared, but it is my favorite by far. We went 5 times, and those experiences with my children, seeing poverty firsthand and seeing how much those who have nothing give all that they have, was amazing for my family to be a part of. And I'm really grateful that Canyon Creek offered that when they did, and that my family was able to be a part of that.
Touch me in the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms.
I was 18 months when my parents joined the church. Of course, I don't remember that. I met John, and John didn't really have a church, and so I brought him here to Canyon Creek, and he fell in love with the church and the people here, and we got married here in 2011.
Give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. I don't care how much money I gotta spend. Got to get back.
We actually came here on my birthday in 1967. I had broken my wrist the day before and got a cast that morning, and my mom put the birthday cake in some Tupperware, and we drove actually through a gigantic hailstorm and a tornado coming down off the Cap Rock to get here. And they both interviewed the next day and made the decision to move here. I think maybe the most formative church moment for me was something that didn't take place at church. This would have been in the summer of 1969. My family had gone to Austin. My dad was going to be offered the directorship of one of the regional service centers by the state of Texas, and we were driving home trying to make a decision, and woke up probably 2, 3 in the morning. Our house was on fire, and managed to get everybody out, but the house was just a total loss. And that was a Saturday night, and they announced this Sunday morning. And sorry, I hadn't thought about this in a long time, but people were everywhere. I mean, the church wasn't just the building; it was the people and their hearts to help us. I mean. You don't know how many friends you have or how faithful people are until you're in trouble. And I don't think we ever discussed taking that job again. My parents lived here the rest of their life, and I've never moved from here. My parents were always active. I mean, they both served on the session. They folded bulletins. My mom sang in the choir. They taught that was a responsibility to be active. And one of the things that sticks with me is my dad saying, if it's important to you, then that's where you pour your talents and your treasures. My wife, of course, is a woman of very strong faith, and thank goodness. I mean, I have no idea what kind of person I would be today had I not married her, but it's meant a great deal to her to have a church home, and we had an experience that most people probably don't have, and that is my children grew up in the church with their grandparents and were able to worship with them every Sunday.
And I stayed here. It was home for me, has been for over 30 years. I've never thought about going anywhere else, even with the ups and downs of any church, because you know that's going to happen at every church. There's not a greener pasture somewhere else. So we've always stayed here, and we've raised all 4 of our boys. They've all been baptized here. So we are rooted here. They have been raised by some incredible people who've helped form their faith. You know, and even the 2 oldest that are off to college still come back here because this is their home, and they still have that connection to a church family when they move away too. So I'm really grateful that their faith has really been grounded by this church.
I mean, this church for me has always been a home. I've done so much in the church, and coming back, no matter how long I've been away, it's always seeing familiar faces that I know that love me, and people I can trust, and I hope that my daughter in the future can have a home like that she can grow up in and always know she can come back home to.
I don't think being here, staying here for this time is philosophical so much as it is it's experience. I mean, in all the aspects of my life, the church has worked for me. I mean, through that childhood and being a young husband and then a young father in this congregation. I mean, all the way through the illness and death of my parents. I mean, those have been experiences where this church has been a solid rock for us. I mean, I just wouldn't think about going anywhere else.